All right. So at the end of last session, you guys had stopped the attempt at a sparking of a war between Daenor and Ryza by travelling to Axis Island, where the Duchess Ethelyn of Shale had attacked with her forces that were loyal to her. Oh shit! There go my pen. She'd attacked with the forces that were loyal to her. With a group of commandos, you had attempted to, or rather, you'd gotten onto the island. All of the commandos died in their attempt, but you...
Excuse me?
Except for one, I'm sorry, who was only crippled. But the commandos failed to get onto the island, leaving you the only hope for Ryza to stop this travesty from getting any worse. So you made your way onto the island, stopped the Duchess from being taken by one Eladrin dreadnought Asbury Varal. You'd also discovered and heard some peculiar things said between Asbury, the Duchess, and the man who you'd hoped to also have saved but failed, Nathan Gier, the cousin of Minister of Outsiders for Daenor, Lyra Gier, the lady you had met, who had given you a shithead puzzle and generally was a shithead. Unfortunately, as I said, he was taken by Asbury as well. Asbury, sorry.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately. Everyone was... no, not Asbury. Oh, God. Asbury. Yeah, as Barra shows up, oh, fuck you all, I'm back again. You'd heard a few peculiar things said, namely a mention of the unseen court, as well as some discussions with another name that had come up that Azrabe had reacted to. It was...
the sister, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was the sister of Azrabe, whose name is... I've lost it. Where's it gone? The name was Sister of Azrabe.
Wow, her parents must have been terrible people.
Kazvarina Varal. That's the name. Other than that, the stopping of this invasion was successful. You managed to successfully open the sea gate, allowing the Ryza forces to come in and deal with those Duchess's forces that had attacked. Returning the island back to Daenor, much to the thanks of Lyra Gier, even though you hadn't been able to recover her cousin, the main success, or rather the main objective was a success. You'd also captured and recovered the Duchess herself, who was arrested by Ryza forces. Over the next month, we'll start with a bit of tidying up. The messenger you sent to find the Han someone, the guy you met in the mines, you did not hear any more from them. You did hear a few weeks later that the messenger had returned and been unable to find anyone at the mine. And then he had been true to Daenor's word, been returned to Ryza on the next ship that travelled back there. So unfortunately, no more icons were recovered. You do still, however, have the one that you got from the golden icon Avalona, I believe it was the one.
They just told me I could keep it. I don't know if because you found out some new things that's changed though.
No, so that definitely you are allowed to keep. You offered to turn it in, and they sort of, nah, it's fine, yours mate, it's all yours to keep. They found not much use for it outside of the island, as you could probably imagine. So that's yours. So for the next month or so, things are relatively quiet at the RHC. Not terribly busy. A few of you start spending some of your pay and stipend on a few items. Those of you who have sorted out what you bought is all there. Now, after about, how long is it? Maybe 2 months or so. We pick up with the group once again. Actually, no, I missed a very important thing. Morsha, What happened to Morsha?
Alcohol
What?
poisoning.
Did Morsha die?
Alcohol poisoning.
Morsha succumbed to alcohol poisoning, and the last you saw of him, he was being reassigned to a rehabilitation centre to undergo an intensive course of alcohol abuse recovery. In the meantime, you were introduced and assigned a new member to fill in the space in your group. Someone who, one very quiet, rather boring day, approaches you all in the midst of paperwork, alongside Assistant Chief Inspector Stover Delph. He walks in and he says, "Right, you lot, finally got to replace that Morsha, that poor Morsha. We're all very concerned, obviously, but it is time we fill in the team. I'd like to introduce you," and he turns and points his hand at what do we see and who do we meet?
A quite short, very slim half-elf. It's kind of hard to tell the age because they have that elven heritage. He's just standing there quite quietly, sort of picks up a hello. I'm Trevor.
You'll never replace Morsha. Never.
Greetings.
My name's Trevor.
Hello, Tribor.
Well, I guess I am the third son, so yes, try would work.
Greetings. I am Dimitri. Tell me, have you heard the good word of Haidesh Gatol by any chance?
I can't say that I have. No.
Oh, good. I have much to tell you.
Should have said yes.
I look forward to it.
So this
As
rather
do I.
timid and quiet half elf spends the next few days with you, getting to know you, seemingly harassed by Dimitri at every available opportunity, who wishes to merely share the word of Hadish Katol. And over the next few days, you'll welcome him. Some of you begrudgingly, Ryla, but welcome him nonetheless to the group. Now, here's a little bit of exposition here, just to give you all some needed background on the city of Flint, where the RHC is based. 40 years ago, the city of Flint was a second-tier port, mostly a haven for fishermen and loggers. Still struggling to overcome the stigma of having once been the domain of a perilous coven of witches, Flint was prosperous, but played little role in the greater Risery affairs. Then the Third Yearosol War ended, and the new king declared Flint would be his nation's seat of industry. Mines in the Anthras Mountains poured iron and coal downriver to Flint's harbour. Old forests within the city limits were clear-cut, and factories erected in their place to build guns, refined alchemicals, and forge steel rails and train cars. Thousands of immigrants and gold-seeking villagers crowded into shabby flop houses and tenements around the factories, and when those were filled, they built new slums on the sides of the city's steep hills. Smoke and soot would pour forth from factory roofs, and criminal elements took root beneath these gloomy clouds, growing strong and feeding on the desperation of a new population of workers, prostitutes, and orphans. In places, Flint's historical beauty still endures, such as in the Governor's Island Mansion Fortress, high atop Haunted Cauldron Hill, deep in the breeze-swaying branches of the Cloudwood, and on the Bayou Plantations west of Pine Island. And the confluence of people from so many stations has inspired great art and technological innovation, but cracks between competing groups are straining the peace, and all it would take are a few disasters to rip the city apart. That's a little bit of Riser there. So I'll chuck that in text as well, so you can read that at your leisure.
It's good to know.
It's just before 11 a.m. on the first day of summer, and as you're all at the main office of the RHC, going over various leads in the Hannah Saloin Gale investigation, Assistant Chief Inspector Stover Delph arrives and interrupts you all. Just to be clear, the Saloin Gale investigation, that's the lady that was at the the sinking of the Coal Tongue. She was the one who you stopped from blowing up the ship.
Okay.
Just in case you'd forgotten. Thought I'd better make that clear. Yeah.
I did forget.
Yeah, no, that's why I made it clear.
Thank you.
It's okay. Oh my goodness, where's the Oh my goodness, things are missing.
Unbelievable.
You're unbelievable.
Wow.
In comes Assistant Chief Inspector Stover Delph. My goodness, I always forget that team. Goddamn New Zealand. Giving me treating me like garbage. Anyway, he comes in and he says, "Alright lads, time for some field work. We just received a delightful report about the perfect lead for you to get you out of this clammy, crappy office. Young woman, identity unknown, jumps out of the fourth floor window at a Denoran consulate, impales herself on the spires of the compound fence, and then perishes. Technically, half of her is in our jurisdiction based on where she fell. Which is good for you because the fence she landed on was 40 feet from the window. Seems like our young victim thought she could fly." And
I'm sorry, boss, but this seems like an open and shut suicide case.
Which half?
Do we really need to leave the office?
he looks to you and he says, "Need I remind you that Gale's most distinguishing trait is her ability to fly without limit? And it's rumored that she can share this power with her followers? That doesn't ring interesting to you?"
It does. Very interesting.
I guess she wasn't a follower.
I'm sure by this time I've already figured out that Ryler's a kiss ass.
Oh, absolutely. By the end of the first day, you had him pegged.
Are we sure this is just not a simple case of young lady ingesting substance she should not? I hear that there is a certain plant that people smoke, makes people crazy, do things like think they can fly.
He nods. It didn't escape our attention that this could be a possibility, but due to its proximity to the Denoran consulate and the strained relationship between the two groups at the moment, thought it prudent to at least investigate. Hell, any situation where young lady flying rings bells on Gale. I think it would be unwise not to check this out.
Righty so.
Rannis just gets his shit packed up and heads out.
He gives out a small folio which gives you the location and the information they know, which is not much more than what he said. Just describes where the fence was in relation to the window, the distance fell, and the fact that she was entirely impaled on the points of the fence. So everyone else follows, I'm assuming.
Yep.
Who's what's Jeff's new guy like do?
At the moment, paperwork.
Paperwork. I'm
Well,
very
I mean,
good at paperwork.
would we got some sort of assessment of his skills or anything, or
No, it's only been paperwork since meeting him. This is the first field assignment that you've all been given.
okay?
Apparently he's an Avenger martial scientist.
Sweet.
Oh,
Spo-
Trabo
spoilers.
Waterhouse.
My goodness, man.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Fucking spoilers! God damn you, Dave!
We're gonna have to
Oh,
retcon
sorry.
that now. Ugh.
Sorry, I should not read the party sheet.
You're under arrest, Dave. I'm gonna.
You know what?
Spoilers.
Just disconnect, Dave. We can't trust you with the information that's freely available on this game.
Aw, leave Dave alone.
So anyway, the
Sorry,
early summer
buddy.
morning is warm and muggy, and a foul breeze blows a cloak of smog over the normally clear-skied North Shore district. The street that runs past the consulate has no buildings on its opposite side, just beach. But, however, 4 Flint police officers are trying to block off access to gawkers and curious public. A black coroner's carriage waits outside the consulate gate. The back door is open and its driver sits on the slab where a dead body should sit, looking bored. By the time you arrive, nearly 2 hours have passed since the woman's death. Alfred Ballastair, the officer in charge, looks at his cheap pocket watch as you all approach, then impatiently steps forward to meet you. Oh, hang on.
Hello.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello? And you are?
Hello.
Oh, I thought that was you. Oh, wow. Ruined my immersion yet again.
By being too immersed?
Yes. Tricked me. Yes. We are the investigators sent to look into this young lady's death.
Oh, very good. Well, I'll give you the rundown. We responded to some panicked witnesses, and by the time the first of our men had got here, the Denorans had lifted the victim off the fence and taken her inside the consulate. But everyone had pretty much gotten the same story. They heard gunfire, saw a woman jump out the window, and she landed on the fence. He points at a dark-stained single spike of the fence that props up. Maybe every 2 feet there's a pointed sort of piece of the fence that sticks up. What's the post? Pointed? I don't know, whatever the fuck it is. Those things people keep impaling themselves on. Those. There's one of those every 2 feet. And he points to it, and it's sort of thick with drying blood. He points to it and says, one scoundrel apparently came forth and stole stuff off her body and ran away as she was still bleeding out, groaning for help on the fence. Ever since then, the Denorans wouldn't let us inside, but I yelled at them quite angrily that you'd be showing up, and they said they wouldn't get rid of the body. The man you want to talk to, apparently, is the security chief, Julien Lebris. And then he sort of looks around. You can handle things from here without me and my men, right? We've got better things to do than sit around waiting another hour while Special Constable, and he sort of eyes you all up, drink up the hospitality of the Denorans inside.
You could track down that thief.
Is drinking involved?
Check down. Oh, yes. No, we will follow leads, most definitely. He gets out a small little scratch pad, a piece of graphite, and starts scratching it. Find the thief. And he looks to you. All right, we shall get right on it. I'll signal the coroner to stay here until you recovered the body, but do let him know if it becomes rather impossible, as there's more important things for him to be doing as well. And with that, he turns and walks off, addresses his men, and they make track.
Okay.
Was it, just for clarification, was it that guy who saw the thief, or is that the person that we're going to go talk to who saw the thief?
It was just witness statements that saw the thief.
Right. Oh, well, we have somebody to go talk to.
You do. So you step up to the gate. There are a couple of Denoran guards on the inside, and as you approach, you see a more important looking man, someone who's wearing a slightly more well-kept uniform with a couple of small insignia on it that differentiate him from the rest. He walks up to the gate and meets you as you arrive. Behind him walks some cleaning staff, and before he addresses you, he directs them to start work scrubbing the blood and viscera off the fence from their side of the gate. This man introduces himself. I am Julien Lebris. And he extends one hand through the gate. Pleasure to meet you.
I'll shake his hand. It's nice to meet you as well.
Oh.
Wow. Rude.
He just looks at you and then addresses those who aren't terribly rude. He says, "What a mess. I took a diplomatic post to avoid blood and death. It has our people shaken up. None of them ever saw war. And this, well, this is mighty unpleasant for those who are not used to the look of blood. So I hope you can take the woman's body we have inside and go quickly. Better for everyone, I think, if the consular doesn't have to be bothered. He has more important things on his mind than a burglary gone wrong. We have treaty negotiations, trade contracts, and you don't want powerful men thinking about death when they're deciding the fates of empires, no?
No.
If it's a burglary, how did she get in?
He says, well, the victim is known to us. She went by the name Nalasa Hume. She's been in a few times in the past few months. Seemed nice enough. She bought us breakfast this morning. One of our security personnel, Braden, apparently he was dating her. She used him to case the building, we suspect, and must have overheard someone talking about upstairs. We assume this was a crime of opportunity. I had noticed she slipped out while everyone else was eating the food she had bought for us today. A hunch led me upstairs, and I found her slipping gold forks and spoons into her pocket. Slippery, at this point, pulls out a small padded bag, then pulls from that a tiny ceramic egg, beautifully decorated with gems and gold. She also had this. It's worth thousands, and we had it sitting out on a display. I saw her, drew my pistol, and when I called out, she ran. I realized she was about to jump out the window. I thought she was trying to kill herself, so I fired and hit her in the leg to stop her. Then she jumped, flew straight through the glass. And now I'm thinking she's about to escape, so I reload and shoot her again in the back. And that's when she fell from the sky.
Can I see the weapon you just charged?
He pulls out his sidearm and passes it. Of course. Now this all happened within the consulate ground. I'm within my rights to have taken these actions, though I wish it had not come to this. And what are you looking over the pistol? What are you looking for?
Just to see there's scorch marks to see if it's been discharged recently. I forget the name of it, but there's like that dust that happens when you fire.
Dust. Yeah.
Yeah, like that. See if it's actually been discharged and approximately how many times, that sort of thing.
Yeah, go ahead and roll me.
Technologically stuff.
Actually, no, it's fine. Roll me perception.
Oh, can I tell if he's telling us the truth? Like, if he shot her because he thought she was going to escape, or if he is lying to us and he shot her twice and then threw her out the window?
Roll me an insight.
And you said it was the original description. The walls are 40 feet from the window.
Yeah.
Not
so
diagonally,
from
like
where the
straight
gate
out.
stands. Yeah, pretty much straight out. Like there's a good 35 to 40 foot of open ground, and looking up at the consulate, you can see the window that's shattered and looks to be the one she must have jumped out of. And she would have to have flown outwards 40 feet to land on this fence post.
Yeah, so there's no throwing her out that far.
Yeah.
Flight magic is fairly unusual too, isn't it?
It is. It's not unheard of, but it is uncommon, especially for common burglars like this is said to, or this guy is telling you that it's supposed to have been. He invites you in at this point. He signals the gate to be opened and brings you inside rather to see the body. You, I assume, hand back his weapon. You notice that you're not too familiar with guns, but it certainly does look to be recently fired. There's a little bit of residue, both on the where the bit at the back is that you light to fire, or where the trigger mechanism would fire, and some dust residue on the tip of the barrel as well. From what you can gather, it looks to have definitely been fired recently.
Did my insight?
Yep, that came through. He doesn't seem to be hiding anything at the moment. He seems to be quite forthcoming, in fact. You see no reason to distrust what he's saying to you at this point. And Orzov, you look at the jeweled egg. What are you looking for? We just wanted to see what it looks like.
Just more detail. Just try to see if there's anything that may look strange about it, or unusual, or sky-seeingly about it.
I have a look at this, and do I have a vision? It looks very, very, very expensive. It is crusted with very fine gems, from what you can tell. It looks well above anything you would ever envisage you would be able to afford buying.
And I'm slightly wondering, why do they have this here? Oh, I guess to show off.
Yeah, from what you gather, they had it on display as some sort of token of Danor's wealth and history, whatever the reason.
Working from the wrong city. They live richer.
So, sorry, go ahead, Dimitri. What is? Nope.
I
Okay.
think we lost.
All right. So,
No, he was trying to talk. His
Ah.
mic's flipping out.
I was saying, may I ask, the man that lady was seeing, would we be able to talk to him?
Brayden? Well, yes, he is. He is inside. You'll find him with her body. So with that, he leads you inside, and as you walk in, you see the consulate's main secretary, who Librian introduces as Tia Jadot. She watches as you come in, just a brief nod, nothing else, and she quickly gets back to work as soon as you pass by. Libri leads you down a hall and stops just outside a cold storage room. He turns to you all and he says, "We are all professionals here. It would help me if you can take the body and leave quickly, so this dirty business can be finished." Inside the storage room, as you all step in, you see a bloodied white tablecloth covering most of what is Nilas's body. You see a man who Libri sort of quietly says to you, "Brayden," and gestures to him, sitting in a chair beside it, stunned and grieving.
My condolences on your loss.
He sort of looks up to you and nods. I don't understand.
I know this is hard time for you, but would you be able to answer a question for us, please?
He nods. Anything.
How much do you know of Lady? Was she... Do you think it likely she was thief, as has been told to us?
He looks to you, and you just see a little bit of tears welling up under his eyes. He shakes his head. She was no thief. She was no thief. I do not understand. I do not believe. He looks very obviously stricken with guilt. You don't need to insight check to see that it is sort of very convincing. He looks to have been, if she was a scammer, he looks to have been completely taken in. But everything he offers you is that she wouldn't be capable of this. She wouldn't do it. He doesn't understand how this has all happened.
Had she been acting strange recently at all? Any different changes in her patterns, her behaviors?
He shakes his head. Not that I know. I knew she had. No, it's nothing.
Please, everything can help.
Roll me a diplomacy.
Can I assist?
Yes.
You get a +1 from me being nearby as well.
Just straight up plus one.
Or straight up +1.
So that's a 10. But Jack Slate, go ahead and roll a diplomacy check. And on an 11, there'll be a +2 to Ryla's check.
I also gave him a handkerchief, so showing that we're friendly.
Cool. So that is a 12 total. He sort of looks and he says, I knew she had recently come into some money that I didn't know where she could have got it from. But I asked her about it. She told me not to worry, and when I pressed, she got upset. I thought nothing of it until... And he just looks back at the body and goes quiet.
Let's talk about happier times. Where did you first meet her?
Yeah. Looks only some weeks ago I met her when she visited and dropped off some treats to those of us who are working here. We hit it off very quickly, and I asked her on a date. We've been dating ever since.
Ooh. Have you been to her house?
He nods. Yes, she has a small sort of one-bedroom apartment in a tenement, and he gives you a nearby area, gives you the address to it. I've been there a couple of times. Nothing out of the ordinary.
I'll just hand him another handkerchief and step back.
He's now got 2 handkerchiefs, just like, what do you want me to...
He can dual
If
wield
he's
them.
crying, he's upset. So don't tread
He puts a
lightly.
handkerchief under each eye.
You might want to blow his nose, get snotty when you're crying.
Do you know of any?
Wow.
Oh,
Permission.
Go and wipe your hand after that. Holy shit.
He passes back the now sopping wet handkerchief. Thank you for the second one. And yeah, anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
do you know of her any friends or family? Did she more keep to herself?
Just now that you mention it, I never really met any of her friends. I guess. Did that come through?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
okay,
came through.
It's just.
Oh yeah, I was like went really quiet. I was like,
Oh
did everything cut out?
my god,
Oh my.
it's so much
Um,
worse than we feared.
Where did you go on your dates? Like, what did you do on your dates?
He gives description of a few just typical normal dates, nothing that sticks out abnormal. I'm not a romantic type, so I can't think of any of them. But he can, and he lets you know this sort of things, just typical stuff.
Walks
I
in
note
the
them down
park.
as notes for ideas.
Walks in the park, nice dinners, making dinners for each other at their places, etc.
Sunset strolls on the beach.
Yeah, I mean the consulate's just next to the beach, so it wouldn't be far out of the realm of possibility.
I got my list for the secretary now.
All right. He by this point he's starting to get upset again, and he asks if you might excuse him, as he seems a bit close to fully breaking down in tears. He asks if there's anything else you need to ask, and unless you have anything in particular, he excuses himself, leaving you alone with the body.
I'm gonna start examining the body, make sure the where he described the gunshots being they're actually there, and if there's any additional injuries, I guess.
Okay, roll me a perception check, please.
I would like to look over and do the same.
All right. You can roll me roll me a perception check as well, both in the tower. Sorry, in the tower.
Oh well, Dan.
well.
And he
think I
said we
deserve-
have her. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Nope.
So physical scrutiny of Nalasa's body reveals glass wounds and scratches on her arms. You see a fence puncture in her abdomen, a gunshot to her back left thigh and to her shoulder, and an unusual wound on her scalp. Examination of her clothes reveals a bail certificate in a hip pocket. The document from the Parody Lake police station reveals that she was picked up in a contraband raid recently, but released on bail, paid by one Heward Sesham, which I'll share to you. That thing there. Just a second. Also in the pocket is a receipt for a purchase of a dozen items, their names abbreviated with the notes of 16 drams or 48 drams for each, valued at a total of 2.450 GP, signed DW. On the back of the receipt scrawled in different handwriting. It reads Silvo, Dion Feldman, Family Wharf. Your guys' background, does anyone have anything related to apothecarianism? Martial scientists. Trabro. You would recognize drams as an apothecary's measurement of volume.
Very good.
Cool.
Could you
Hang on. Sorry. So that's what you find there. I've put those in there so you can reread them. Also,
Oh, okay.
Jack Slate, you uncover a hidden pocket in Nalasa's body, and you find an empty elixir vial. Do either of you have Arcana trained? Actually, fucking both do, don't you?
Yeah.
Roll me an
We're
Arcana
pretty
check,
good at it.
please.
Tower or
No, it doesn't need to be. Alright, so both of you can easily tell it contained a strong elixir of invisibility. And all of you constables know that magic that makes you invisible for more than a few seconds is highly illegal. Constables in the military are allowed to use such things, of course, but not for public use.
Is there anything on that list of the
Apothecary?
ingredients on that list, could they be used to make an invisibility potion, or
You don't know
is it
what the
not clear?
ingredients are because they're all abbreviated.
Okay. And what about the injury to her scalp?
Yeah, can
You're
I
saying.
investigate that?
Roll me a heal check, please, Orzov. Randus, you can roll an assist as well if you like. So roll a heal check, DC 11.
Nope.
Okay, so you get a -1 to Orzov's roll, which...
can I help as well? Or
yeah,
investigate by
you can help.
myself, actually.
No, you can help.
That includes the -1.
That includes the -1? Okay.
Yeah, so I rolled a 3.
But potentially with Jack Slate helping. Go for it.
Heal check.
Yep,
Alright,
just a
just
DC
a
11.
Can I do the nature of the wound?
Awesome. So
Yes.
that will be, he'll go up to a 12. So the wound on Nalasa's scalp was caused by necromantic energy. The bullets from the 2 gunshot wounds have been extracted. One shot to her leg was non-life threatening. The other shot entered her back and pierced her lung. So that's the total, like all of her wounds you did a check for. But yeah, on the scalp, it looks to have been caused by necromantic energy.
Is it like fresh? Did it happen in this consulate, or is it in the process of healing and she's just disguising it or something?
It's too hard for you to tell. You guys didn't check that well. Now, you asked about a nature check, did you?
Oh, can I do Arcana on the necromancy wound, or is that not an option?
Roll me an Arcana check for looking over the body.
Boop. Oh, well, fuck. Well,
Okay.
so much for my rolls today.
You're sort of inspecting her, wound included, and doing like an Arcana once-over of this person. And it is obvious to you that she did not have any magical skills of her own, but you detect several different lingering magical auras on her.
If he mentions this to me, can I also check do an Arcana check to see what the nature of the magic
Yep,
was?
roll me a check.
Tower or
No, only like perception and insight. And yeah, if I call for it.
Yeah, so can I use that nature check for like seeing about like if it would have been a non-magical cause of that nectar, like a plant or something like that, or like a poison from an animal that might have scratched the head or something?
You recognize that it definitely wasn't natural source, though you cannot tell the exact source of the necromantic energy. You do, with your nature roll, recognize that there was also some natural healing magic that was used on her.
Oh.
As for the Arcana to figure out, you can't tell any more than Uranus. You both just detect the auras, but nothing further. Does anyone want to check anything else for this buddy?
Not really the body per se, but I guess from the name, like, do we know if she was likely a Riser local, or is that like a name of somebody who could possibly be from a foreign region, or?
Nalasa Hume. It doesn't stick out as odd, like an odd name. It's fairly common. There's nothing particularly leading about the name.
The names on the receipt, do I recognize them as criminal figures or any notoriety at all?
Roll me a
Names?
streetwise in the tower.
Can I assist on that?
Yes.
Is
You guys
someone
can be
putting
discussing with me.
body exam notes into the notes thingy, or is that?
Yep, that was me. I
Cool.
wanted to keep them handy.
Good.
Thanks, buddy.
No
That's a
problem.
very good idea because all of these notes are your clues for this investigation.
So I
Okay.
guess the brown nose is doing that for us.
Of course, he's got
Alright,
his
go
brown
fuck
nose.
yourself.
scratch pad
He's
filling
fucking
up.
meta brown nosing.
Okay. So
Excuse me for caring
with a
about
plus
the
2 from
story.
Ryla, fantastic.
No, I was about to go and do that, is why I said. Because I figured Aranis would be the most likely person in this group to be taking a stupid amount of notes anyway, so.
Sorry for cribbing on your territory.
My background does have me as a detective, so I probably have a notepad that I'm scribbling things down in as well.
We're all
Deceptive?
note keepers here,
Except Dimitri.
except for
You
the
say
core.
your background was deceptive?
Detective.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say like, what the
detective.
I like deceptive better.
It's a good background. Or is it a background? Ooh.
Ooh.
Deceptive.
Anyway.
Yes, you do pull up something about these names, or you do recall something about these names. Let me just find exactly what it is so I don't give you the wrong stuff.
Oh, good.
Is it another weird, shitty puzzle?
Probably. 3 rings and some towers. They can't touch each other.
We have to make
Uh,
Talbro take that shitty test.
We show up at where we need to go, and there's a sliding tile puzzle on the door.
God damn it.
We can just go back, buy explosives, blow up the puzzle.
I'll start every test by saying it's impossible, and then that's the secret every time.
I can go from there, yeah. It's a safe bet.
Well, I don't have
This
much
puzzle-
intelligence, so I could say that.
You talking about your character or?
My character.
Oh, why unnecessary burn?
Oh, sorry. I'm salty.
So boys.
Just
The
an angry young man.
the name Dion Feldman doesn't ring any bells to you, but who here might have been in the paperwork side of this investigation, investigating naval information?
100% Aranis, like he'd
I'm
be
not
in
into
all of
semen.
the paperwork.
Okay, fair enough.
Aranis is a paperwork machine. I'm assuming I have the highest intelligence in the group, so I probably do stuff.
I've got really high diplomacy, so I've obviously been giving you pointers on how to write your reports, make them sound nice.
Okay, so you're all discussing Silvo and Dion Feldman, I think it was. Yeah, Dion Feldman. Family war.
Wait, the name of the ship was Silvo, or
Yes,
is under the
that's
name
what,
Silvo?
No, that's the name of the ship.
Huh, that's weird.
Oh, another location to check out.
Let's do that.
Well,
boop. There you go. So I'll share that with everyone.
Okay.
there was another name.
Yes, Dion Feldman. Unfortunately, no one recognizes that name.
No, not that one. Heward.
Woodshine.
Yeah, he would.
He would succumb or what something.
Yeah,
that was
one
the
who
extra
paid
note,
her
yeah.
bail.
Paid her bail.
Yep.
Did that Streetwise check give me anything about those names?
Not about Heward nor Dion.
Could I roll a streetwise for that, or?
No, so that was you guys rolling the streetwise and discussing it, and Aranis remembering. Like that sort of.
Oh, okay.
Because I don't want everyone to be like, I roll perception, you find nothing. I roll perception, then people can roll, and then as a team, you discover one of you has recognized this or discussed this or figured this out. So, is there anything else you want to see about the body?
I think we've probably done what we can.
Leaving to grieve.
Yeah. Is there a way to make the notes are public? Is there a way to make them publicly editable?
Yes, in the top right, there's a tick box that says public.
It's ticked, but I can't edit it.
If
It's
he
a
changes
locked
the-
icon.
The block icon, if he changes it, we should be able to edit it, right?
It's been unlocked. I haven't locked it.
Yeah, no, I think it's because it's the owner, Broshevik, that it's not. So.
I can't change that. Sorry, but I'll just add those into the notes.
You could just drag and drop them if you didn't know that.
Yep.
So you're finished with the body. Do you want to talk to anyone in the consulate?
I'll ask to go upstairs to see the scene of the stuff.
I want to talk to the secretary.
Okay. You go and talk to the secretary. You're going upstairs to see the hall where she was found and jumped out of the window?
Right.
Okay. Everyone else. So, Aranis, Dimitri, what are you doing?
I might see if Braden, he was basically like a guard, wasn't he?
Yes, he is a guard of the consulate, yep. Do you want to talk to him some more?
If I'd be able to, I want to be able to, no, I sort of want to probably maybe talk to, some of his fellow guardsmen,
That's a good idea. Okay, so you want to talk to some of the other guards and see about him in particular, or about him and her, or about her?
Basically him and her. I want to basically
Okay.
see what they thought of her, whether they thought he was, whether it seemed like he's, she might have seen him as an easy mark, and so forth.
All right.
Or maybe slipped him a love potion or something.
Aranis, you can roll me a perception upstairs. Dimitri, you can roll me a diplomacy or an insight, or both. Actually, roll me both. Insight in the tower. Orzov, you were going to talk to the receptionist.
Yes.
Trabro, you are doing what?
Go on and check out this fence.
Okay, you want to go have a look at the fence that's being scrubbed currently?
Yes.
Okay, all right, you head out. So Orzov, could I please get a diplomacy from you, and Trabro a perception from you with a -2. And Jack Slate, what are you doing?
Any of the eyewitnesses who saw the thief steal something from her body and run away still around?
Yes, so there is the crowd outside that are being kept back, or that were being kept back by the guards. You can go and case them if you like.
Yeah, I'd like to try and get a description of this thief.
Okay, go and roll me a diplomacy. And finally, Ryla, what are you doing?
I know this actually seems kind of convenient, but I actually had this set up before we even started the game. I'd like to go to Parody Lake because I know someone in the Thieves Guild there, and I'd like to ask them get some information from them. They were a previous informant of mine.
That's good, but before we go to another location, is there anything you want to do here? Or do
here? Just here specifically? Okay.
Just rather than you leaving the group, you guys can pursue leads together just to make it easier on me.
No, we got to split the party so you can
Okay, you go to
both of
Parody
it.
Lake for the next 4 hours of real time. You are traveling to Parody Lake.
No, I'm sorry. Can I use the stealth check to see how any let me think here. Maybe secret passageways or something. Escape routes, something like that.
Roll me a perception check, please.
Like how
perception. Okay.
Like you're trying to say how she might have looked at the place to try to escape or something.
Yeah, like a stakeout, or how she's thinking it out, or what she would look for, stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay.
But
looking at it from a thieves' perspective.
yeah.
Roll
So
me a
perception
perception then.
then?
Yep, in the tower.
Okay.
So Arenis, looking over the hallway, you see various bits of broken glass from where she smashed through it, as well as a broken display case, which has a claw-like stand which looks to have held the porcelain egg, and a drawer which hangs open underneath it, where there's maybe 20 or 30 pieces of golden cutlery, but a fair few spaces where it looks like a good chunk of them have been relieved. Other than that, this hallway is pretty much empty of anything that sticks out. You have a look out the window and you can see sort of from the angle, even if you had a incredible run up and not a pane of glass between you and freedom, it would be nigh impossible to jump that far out and land on that fence.
Is there any blood splatter that looks like she took a bullet wound on the wall or anything like that?
There's a small spatter of blood on the carpet, which you can attribute to where she was shot in the leg, but based on where he said he shot her in midair, you find no other blood that refutes that she wasn't shot outside of the window the second time.
Okay. Yeah, I figured any blood that when she got shot in the air would be sprinkles fucking everywhere. So
yeah. All right. So Dimitri, you were talking to the other guards. Now, they give you a few different point of views on Brayden and the relationship between him and Nalasa. Most of them tell you that they were fairly serious. You'd catch them humping like bunnies in the guard room whenever he had a break. But usually they kept to themselves, kept pretty quiet, didn't give anyone any trouble. Most of the time they were down at the Thinking Man's Tavern, getting terribly drunk. He'd turn up to work with a bit of a hangover most days. That and, well, yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay.
As that's the name of the tavern they give you. But one person, however, does mention to you that when they were recently in town, they saw Nalasa by herself coming out of a store called Seacham's Alkahest and Alchemical.
That sounds like a mouthful.
Yeah.
That is also what she said.
Oh. And I'm guessing that's somewhat that struck him as somewhat unusual.
Yes, it also, if you missed it, Seacham is the name you found on the bail
it
note.
is too. Yes.
Heward's Seacham.
That's right.
And we got the measurements in grams. That's interesting.
Another place to check out.
Oh yeah.
Well, two more even. The tavern and the chemical stores.
So, what district is the Thinking Man's Tavern in? Or does he actually know where both districts are in?
The Thinking Man's Tavern is in Bosom Strand.
And the Seacham's Alkalist?
That is... somewhere, hang on.
what the fuck is alkahest? Is that like a thing
Alkahest.
for this?
I have no idea.
Yes.
I think it's some sort of.
Oh, that looks like an A.
is a hypothetical universal solvent having the power to dissolve every other substance, including gold.
Oh,
Wow.
it's just alchemist stuff.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's super acid.
So acid and also acid. Cool. What a shop name.
Which is much sought after for what they thought would be its invaluable medicinal qualities. So apparently dissolving literally everything is very medicinally useful.
It cures what ails you by getting rid of you.
It's the best way to go about it.
If you're not dead, existing.
That's in the Pine Island district. Now, so that is the what you get from the people around the office. Orzov, you were talking to
The secretary.
the secretary. And what did you roll? You rolled
A very bad roll.
a 6.
But I wasn't asking for information. I was asking for a date.
You didn't need to roll. She definitely turns you down.
Harsh.
Now, you try talking to her, and you get shut down very quickly. Though you do notice that most of the consulate staff around, including the receptionist, seem oddly upbeat, considering that someone just died several hours ago. Most of them say they liked Nilaso, the receptionist included, though all of them lick their lips slightly and might break off mid-sentence to wonder if there are any more brigadieros left.
Wait, what?
Hmm.
It's a brigadiro.
A snack,
like
I'm
a burrito?
assuming.
It's
They lick their lips.
named after the Brigadier General who invented them. It's a confection that consists of a gooey ball of chocolate covered in granulated chocolate, caster sugar, and grated coconut. You gather that those are the things she brought along with breakfast for everyone to eat.
I also lick my lips.
And actually, you rolled quite a good insight. You also... No, sorry, Dimitri. You rolled an insight. You get the feeling as well from talking with the other guards, including Julian Lebris, that he is under orders or following orders that he might not agree with. Any sort of discussion of, he sort of pushes, we're trying to get this all dealt with out of the way. He seems like he doesn't agree with whatever orders are coming from on up high.
Right. So there's sort of somebody's wanted to sort of sweep this under the rug, and they're not really. Sorry, I was cutting out a bit there.
Yeah, they're definitely wanting to, obviously, sweep this under the rug. You're not sure if that's the only thing that he's feeling, but you also notice the guards all are also upbeat. Some of which are potentially even a bit airy, a bit off in the clouds, somewhat. Orzov, you've talked to the lady.
I think they've had a marijuana, guys.
Yeah, I was about to say it sort of just dawned on me that those seem like they are drugs. It's treats.
Go ahead and roll me an Arcana check, Jack Slate, who thinks that they might be drugged. Or thievery, either of those.
Arcana, because Arcana, I'm good at it.
Okay. You pick one up and give it a smell and maybe a little bit of a taste, just enough to get the idea. But you are 101% sure that these were laced with fey pepper, which is this setting's equivalent of ecstasy.
Yeah, it's the pies all over again. It's happening again.
Yes. Roll me a constitution check. Aranis, you want to try and detect any necromancy? Roll me an arcana check, please. However, Trabro, now you were talking... you were checking the fence, weren't you? And you rolled your perception with a -2.
Correct, rolled a 20.
Okay. Now, what are you looking for on the fence?
She said she fell 40 feet to the fence,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Would that be consistent doing, the angle of the fall? If she was running to jump out the window Is it consistent that she would have run and landed on the fence, or is it more she was standing in the window and got pushed out and then just landed on the fence straight down?
It is like 40 feet away. You would need to be faster than an Olympic runner to have enough momentum to carry you that far across to hit the fence from that window. Certainly wasn't thrown. And as you look up and you see Uranus in the window, you might share these questions, but from both of your perspectives, does not look like she would have been able to do that naturally. You actually see, though, as Uranus is looking out the window, Julian Lebris talking to Uranus and trying to usher him out of the hallway. And Uranus, you are ushered from the 4th floor after just a couple of moments being up there, after you've sort of had that initial look. And Lebris tries to hurry you downstairs and insists that the 4th floor, you do not need to be up here. It's close to the consular's office, which is off limits for this. It is uninvolved in the investigation. And you see Uranus being sort of shepherded away from the window.
So the spikes she's impaled on, are they bent in any way, implying she came down on an angle, or is it she came straight down on top?
The one she hit, it's a very strong fence. The very tip of it, that was, all of the others are sharp to like a finger prick sharpness. That one's got a slight bend in it, but it could have been where it just pierced her ribcage.
Well, yeah, because I'm thinking if she would have to have been thrown with incredible force or moving super fast.
Or was above it and fell down, which
Yeah,
seems
that's
to
what I'm
be
trying to
more in line with what you see. It's not bent terribly out of shape, just nicked where it hit bone.
No worries.
Okay. Jack Slate, you've done your bit. You were talking to the crowd, weren't you?
Yeah, I'd also like to tell that the guy, the important one, LeBron, his name is, that those treats are drugged before I go case the crowd.
Okay, you tell him. He sort of gets a wide-eyed look on his face, and
yeah.
We will get this removed right away. And he tells the receptionist to chuck them away. Ryla and Jack Slate, you guys are currently... Orzov and Jack Slate, you guys are currently downstairs as he tells them. So please roll me a perception as you see the receptionist disposing of the brigadieros.
Just disposing of them into her.
Yeah, perception in the tab. Yeah. You both see her looking as if to scoop this tray into the bin, but actually nothing falls into the bin, and she scoops it into her bag. There's about 4 or 5 left, but it's no huge issue. She's just wants to keep them. Like he doesn't tell them why they need to be thrown, just merely tells her to throw them, and it looks like she doesn't want to waste them. But you step outside. Lebris heads off upstairs, where this is where he'll go and be scooching Uranus out as you go to the crowd outside. Now, you rolled your diplomacy. Very good roll. Most of the people that you talk to who saw the events are beginning to leave or have already left. A lot of the people here are just sort of people interested or have heard about the lady that died at the Denoran consulate. And you struggle to get many people who were actually witness, or people who say they were witness but were very obviously not. But you get the story from a couple of people that the woman crashed out of the window, hit the fence, and then there were 2 gunshots a few seconds apart. When she jumped, she had her arms covering her face as if to shield herself. And another bit from someone else. Someone was up in the window, but he looked like he was completely black, except for something shiny, perhaps a gun. A moment later, he had vanished. And then from another, a man with a goatee went up to the dying woman, and she handed him a bundle of papers and folders, then whispered something before she died. The man yanked a yellow pendant and a necklace off the woman's neck before running away. And then another, a man sprinted down the street, then turned down an alley, carrying an armful of something. And this witness points out the alleyway, which one he went down. And then the final piece, because fuck me, he rolled a 29. When the Denorans took the woman's body off the fence, her face was covered in blood. People matching the description of Lebris, Consular Denadria, and a third nondescript man got into a brief shouting match as the body was being carried inside.
Ooh.
So I will
Ooh.
put those into chat for you.
Yeah, that's ridiculous how much I got. Well, this happened quite some time ago, right? It's been multiple hours, so...
It's about 3 hours by now, yeah. You guys
Yeah,
are going through here.
Yeah,
So I'm
so
assuming all of you will meet up and share the information that each of you have gathered from your various checks and conversations, so we can consider that everyone is now privy to all the information that you've gathered so far.
Did I get any pings for necromancy on my way down or
Oh,
anything?
sorry. Yep, I forgot about that one. And Ryla, I forgot about you as well.
I'm used to it.
Necromantic energy, you feel like there may be some aura of magic left around the edge of the window, but it's very faint. The source is very unclear, and almost while you're sort of focusing, trying to get a stronger feeling for it, it seems to fade away and no longer be there. Coming downstairs with Julian Libri, you get no other feeling that there's any necromantic energy through here.
Okay.
Probably not helped by the fact that he seems to be hurrying you downstairs away from the consular's office. And Ryla, do remind me, what were you doing again, sorry?
Kind of like looking for likely areas where she might have staked out.
That's right.
Case the joint, basically.
So
See if there's any markings or anything.
you don't see any sort of putting on your in the eyes of the thief hat. You don't spot anywhere beyond the places she was already rifling through.
Okay.
The lower areas where the guard and the reception and all that sort of thing is, and the lower floor, there doesn't seem to be much of value. Most of the valuable stuff is up on the fourth floor, and beyond the areas you can see, you find nothing else, and are also shepherded down with Uranus by Julian Libri.
Okay.
Okay, so you all gather and meet up and share your information. Julian Libri asks, is it time for you to leave? You have got everything you need. You take the body and go, yes?
One thing first. It's our understanding that when the body was discovered, you were outside shouting, arguing with some people.
He raises an eyebrow. No, this is not the case. We were panicked, and I was perhaps yelling orders to direct those to clean up the unsightly mess on the fence, but if anyone saw me shouting, this is all I can think of to explain. Roll me an insight check in the tower, please.
Right.
You sounds fairly reasonable. Could be the number of differing reports you got. It could be possible that that was simply a false one.
Libri was the one that claimed that he was up top shoot and shot her, correct?
Yes, twice.
Yeah, the dark figure that was seen by the crowd is very suspicious. So, I'll ask him about that statement as well. There's somebody from the crowd who said that they saw some very unusual things out there. Somebody who appeared completely black, holding something that caught the light, was shiny.
He sort of looks at himself. My uniform is dark. It could have been black with the sun behind me. My gun, you see, is metallic and metal. Are you are you asking
Yeah.
if it was not me that shot her? I have told you Is there something you have found to refute these claims?
Oh,
Did-
it's just very suspicious is all. These people have nothing to gain from lying to us.
I'm just gonna elbow Jack Slate to like quiet it down a bit.
Yeah.
Right.
These lines of question.
Yeah, that's true. We are in the embassy asking pointed questions of the guy who's in charge.
We're giving him more information that he knows what we know.
Right. Well, if he just continues to brush me off, don't have anything else to say to him.
All right.
I believe we're here to collect the body, so we should probably do so.
Okay. So you guys all go ahead.
Sorry, I was just gonna say, out of character, didn't one of the witnesses say that he shot her after she had already landed on the fence?
Yes.
Yeah, I've noticed that too.
Well, I found
Well-
evidence like consistent of her being shot upstairs, so that doesn't seem to track. It might just be a red herring.
Do check your messages around. I know you're not.
Oh.
Well,
You obviously missed a thing that was sent to you.
Almost like someone had stood there for a while.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Alright.
he claims he claims he shot her in the leg. She went out the window. He shot again. The witness claims she went out the window, then 2 shots.
yeah.
So
Well,
I say something's definitely not tracking.
Now that I've thought about it a bit more, there was a bit too much blood in a single place. It wasn't really spattered. It looks like it dripped onto the carpet. So yeah, something isn't adding up in that necromantic wound. I did notice a little bit of aura at the window. I suppose it could have been her drinking whatever potion made her fly, or it could have been what caused that wound, but I didn't have enough time to examine it fully before I was interrupted.
Also, this is a minor question, but on the receipt with the drams and stuff, and we've got the 2.450. I'm taking, is that like a European dot, as in like that's a comma and not a decimal point?
I think it's a decimal point.
Although
2.4
And it's
gold
point-
is, I guess.
I'm just thinking because it's 0.450, which is weird for the denomination. So would it be 2,450?
I think
You don't really have thousandths of a gold usually.
Yeah, the 0 throws it off, but I'm thinking it's 2.4 gold.
Do you have actual notes in the statements from the crowd thing there, Kalen?
That wasn't me.
Oh.
And it's locked.
Oh, I grabbed all the statements from the crowd and threw them into a public note.
It's
Shouldn't
blank.
be locked.
when they were physically investigating the body, did they see any fire powder residue on her hand?
On her hands?
Yes.
No. They didn't see that. They didn't not see there was any. They definitely saw there wasn't.
Yep.
Huh, is my note still blank for the statements from the crowd?
Yeah, I've closed and reopened the notes panel and it's still blank. I don't know why.
That's unusual. Mine has all the things in it. Just dragged them in.
Are they still blank now? Because I've just dragged them in again.
Nope, not
When
blank
you
now.
click the lock symbol, they appear,
Ah.
which is weird, but it's there now.
What about the
It's-
Uranus paperwork one? I made a new one because I didn't see anything in
I
there.
Can't see the
Yeah,
results one,
it's blank.
and the paperwork one's
interesting.
blank as well.
The
Can you see
results
it now?
one I have in there, but no.
I can't see anything in that one either. Huh. Weird.
either.
Yeah.
I see the statements from the
It
crowd
might just
now.
take maybe it just takes a while for it to load because
Make
I
sure
say
you
I-
click off it as well once you've written it, because things that fill in this program don't like save that they're filled until you click off that text area.
All right.
There we go. Showing up now.
Which one?
Results.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess I didn't click off of it. I think that's what we're looking at for
Yeah.
these not updating.
Okay, so what do you guys want to do now? Your Libri is sort of hurrying you to head to the storage room and gather the body, where Brayden offers a last tearful goodbye and accepts that you're here to collect it and take it as it's your jurisdiction.
So I'm guessing after we drop the body off, I say if we meet up and we have a sort of discussion on comparing all our notes and stuff and work out where
Yep.
we go next.
Okay, so you leave the consulate.
I think
I
so.
guess so, yeah.
Yeah.
So you guys
Yeah.
collect the body and take it out to where the coroner's cart was. You put the body in, the coroner takes it and heads off. Now, where are you going to head to? Just to re-go over, in the order of closest things or closest places, there is the alley that someone pointed out. There was a scuffle. There's the Thinking Man's Tavern. There is the Sishard, whatever his name is.
Seshim.
The
Yeah.
alchemical
Sishim,
shop.
that's one. Alchemical shop. And there is the name of a ship that one of you remember
Right.
made dock and left again on the wharf that you can follow up. You could probably follow that up at the RHC if you wanted to.
Okay.
We
but-
also got a location of her apartment.
Yes.
And is the location like the alleyway that we were pointed out to? Is that in the direction of the tavern or the alchemist shop?
It's like just down the road.
I'd
Like the
say
guy
we-
pointed at the alley because that was the man sprinted down the street and turned down an alley carrying an armful of something. And that was
Well, we might as well
a
go
couple of
there
streets down
first.
there.
Since
It's,
right the
it's-
fuck here, so.
it's the thing that's going to get turned over or destroyed or lost the fastest. Everything else can sit and wait, but if somebody walks down that alley and gets a piece of evidence, it's
Yeah.
gone.
Okay, so you guys are pointed in the direction of the alley, or rather you follow to the alleyway that you were pointed. And it's a fairly nondescript alley. You don't see anything immediately jump out at you. But let's say you search for half an hour. So give me perception or streetwise checks in the tower. Jesus, plus 11? Okay. So, amongst you all, you find signs of a brief scuffle. Some scrape marks from shoes, a bit of cloth scraped against some of the things in the alley. And you find a fallen piece of paper trodden into some mud. Upon inspection, you see that it is a copy of a deed of ownership for a canal barge marked with the seal of the Denoran consulate. Don't know what it, whether it's related to what happened, but certainly could have been. Also, could I get one person making an Arcana check, and one more person? Actually, no. Aranis and Orzov, you both spot a tiny spurt of oddly coagulated blood, which sits in amongst a smear of blood near the paper. And I'll get an Arcana check for that as well. So one Arcana check for general from one person, and one for the blood.
Well, I have I think the blood you said.
Yeah.
You grab the blood and I'll do the general.
Of fucking course.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Hey,
And-
spectacular roll. From
Out of combat inspiration, maybe.
So
You could have mine.
Jack Slate, you did general,
Alright,
yeah?
cool.
I did junior.
That's better.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I
You
did
get the
blood.
strong feeling that electrical magic was used very recently in this alley within the last 5 hours. And that second Arcana roll. Oh, did someone give you an inspiration?
Yeah.
Okay.
Kalen did.
You notice that the blood is infused with the same necromantic energy as the blood inside. Or as the necromantic energy inside, rather.
Right.
Very much makes sense that he was the one to do the blood check then, because I wouldn't have known anything about.
All right.
As you
Well, I
guys
shared that with you guys, so
Yeah.
I'll scoop it up into like a vial or something.
Okay, and as you do so, and you sort of look up to the others, you see a carriage driver, so easily told by his clothes and the riding crop that sits lashed to his side. He is standing at the top of the alley and waving at the rest of you.
Well, that's highly unusual.
I wave.
He waves and he says,
Hello.
Are you the officers?
I guess I'll go meet with him after scooping up the blood.
You go meet him. He introduces himself. The name's Byron. I'm a carriage driver around these parts. I wish to report a crime.
All right, what's the crime?
Well, I collected a man from just at the top of this alley and drove him where he needed to go, and the bastard didn't pay me.
What did this man look like?
He said, well, I don't know. He did stand. He had bloody hands covered in blood, and he was carrying some kind of bundle. He says,
Goatee.
looked like
Yeah,
a bundle
goatee.
of surgery tools. You know the kind, the small roll-up leather satchels. He spoke with an accent I found most unfamiliar, much like my own.
And where did you drop this man off?
He asked to be driven to a hostel, the House of Bluebirds, 2 miles away on the western edge of the North Shore district. I asked him
And
about the blood on his hands, and he claimed that he was the doctor in the middle of a most important procedure, and that he needed specialized surgical equipment that he could find at the House of Bluebirds. I took him there, and then waited for almost an hour before I realized I had been had.
Did he have any facial hair that you noticed?
Let me have a think.
Yeah, because we were told that there was a man with a goatee.
Right.
I mean, the blood on his hand could be from a bad quick shave. Failed that
That's
disguise kit, bro.
with necromantic energy.
It's a good
It's
way
a
to shave.
necromantic razor that he shaves with, so the hair never comes back. Can you update
Yes,
the
he,
locations thing, Kalen?
Oh, actually, I can. He had a small goatee and a rather hideous moustache, if I must say so. He lacked the mutton chops to tie it together. It was, all in all, a horrible affair.
Oh, Dan. All right, I'll
Okay.
just kind of nod to him and write down the information he gave us. It's like, we'll be sure to look into this for you.
So, what about my pay? Will you cover for it? You can recover it from this man when you find him. That is your job, is it not?
No.
I don't think it is.
You're
Our job
to
to
requisition
cover your
form
losts.
at the department.
So,
Well, in that case, I will make my way to the RHC post-haste. Good day.
good day.
you're triggering me.
He turns and
Triggering me.
leaves. And with that, we'll take our first break. We'll take 15 minutes here. And we will come back at 20 past the hour.
All right.
Okay.
You have no clue how often someone like fucks up their car and be like, "Well, you guys gonna pay for this?" Why the fuck would we? You fucked it up, you idiot.
Welcome back. All right, let's carry on. So, where are you guys heading to next?
Allie, what would be the closest then?
The Thinking Man's Tavern, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
it's an imaginary city, so it's all the closest because it takes a sentence for you to get there.
I'll
That
just
house
mention.
place.
The house is relatively close. Yep.
That might be a good idea to pursue that sooner. If maybe we
True, yeah. With the guy on the run, sort of thing.
Yeah, although the carriage driver did say that he sat outside, waited for an entire hour before he realized that he had been shafted. So it's pretty much all the same.
Well, I mean,
It's more time
there might be
sensitive.
some time. Yeah, it's the only thing that is time sensitive, I would guess, because that
Could've-
boat's already gone, and everything else is kind of.
He could have
Unless
dropped more paperwork.
Yeah, unless you guys want to. Well, he was holding surgery tools, which is different because so somebody got paperwork, right, and someone else had a rolled up bundle of like tools or something. So it sounds like there was someone else that might have got shot, and they did like a black market doctor like stitch up job in this alley, maybe. That would be my guess. Like that's why she came out of the window, and then they shot at someone else, like that was out in the street, maybe. And he ran and got stitched up back there.
Yeah.
But
A reasonable theory.
Yep. House of Bluebirds then.
Yep.
Have spikes around.
Yeah. You go to the House of Bluebird.
Yep.
Okay, let's go to there.
Detective, you tell me do things. Run in there and yell pork chop sandwiches.
Just show up and scream, "I am the law."
That's Dimitri. Dimitri's clearly the bruiser of this group.
Well, what was that? Sorry.
You are under arrest. Dan, this game sucks. Dimitri hasn't arrested anyone yet.
I'm sorry.
I need some more people for him to arrest to just keep me happy or something.
you could have arrest the wagon guy for wasting officers' time.
For
By
assaulting
giving us
an officer.
valuable information.
Okay, so following the directions given by the carriage driver, you guys find your way pretty quickly to the House of Bluebirds. It's only 2 miles away after. And when you reach there, you head inside. You see a rather bored-looking receptionist sitting behind a desk. As soon as you walk in, she says, "Rooms are 15 a night, paid up front, multiple nights paid in advance. Out in the morning before 9 a.m." And she holds up a key and holds out her other hand as if to take it. You gather she means 15 silver as well, not gold.
Flash the
Question,
badge.
isn't upfront and advanced the same thing? I'm just curious, is all.
She just looks up with a single eyebrow. Yes.
Actually, they're slightly different.
Up front for the first night, other days in advance as well. Yeah. So you're not paying for each night up front. This doesn't matter. She just looks to you with an eyebrow raise. You going to pay? And Jack Slate flashes the badge. What? And she lowers the key down onto the desk. No money in questions.
Yeah, I thought so. We're here investigating a crime.
No crimes here.
Yeah, however, our suspect has recently come to or passed through this location. There was a man, facial hair, terrible mustache, carrying a pack of surgical tools.
Blood on hands. Should have been very noticeable.
Yeah, covered in blood.
She shrugged. No one's seen looking like that. Not around here, anyway.
Could I roll an insight? Oh, sorry. Could I?
No, stay
I
in
was gonna say
character.
the same thing.
Yes, you can.
You ask her if you can roll an insight.
Would you mind if I roll insight check, please? It will not hurt.
You can go for it, love.
Wow, it's a real good one.
You didn't roll in the tower, however. So go ahead and re-roll it in the tower.
What a meanie.
Can I not just
What a
drag
meanie.
that 27 into the
You know what? You actually rolled within one anyway.
There you go. I did it for him. See, look. It's skill insight 27 in the tower.
It's true. It did come up saying tower skill insight. 27. Well done.
I did it, guys.
Whilst seeming very obviously bored and annoyed, she doesn't seem to be hiding anything from you.
Okay.
Those of you who have done police work for quite some time would understand people in this area wouldn't be that welcoming to police anyway. This is no different from the normal expected response you get following any line of inquiry.
I want to go around and look around the back.
Is around the back for what?
The house. It says the house. House of Bluebird. I'm assuming it's a house.
It's it's a hostel, so it's a mini room building. The name of it doesn't say that it's some person's random.
Misleading. No. Can I go around the back of the block?
Yeah, you can go around the back of the property and have a look. Roll me perception, and what are you looking for?
Evidence of maybe a blood trail from the guy running in, or like some sort relating to that.
Okay, roll me a perception in the tower. The rest of you inside, any discussion with her doesn't offer you any more. She very obviously didn't see anyone matching this description come in recently or several hours ago. And as you have a look outside, you do find over the back fence leading into another alleyway which goes to the road beyond a small smudge of dried blood just on the very top, where someone with bloody hands jumping over might have smudged.
I guess I'll go in and fetch the other officers
All right.
and give the receptionist a bit of a wink.
You sly dog.
Oh boy.
Did I notice any
Not even
blood
looking
drops
at
on
you.
the floor in the entryway there?
No.
Okay. All right.
And I inform them about to come have a look at something, and then show them what I saw.
Okay.
What did he see again? I fucking got a
Smudge,
text.
blood.
Just the sign that someone had jumped the fence behind this property and made their way into the alley.
There was
If
like
only
a
I had my
splash of
jump speed
drop.
still. No.
Well, all the blood that we've found so far seems to have necromancy involved with it, so I can't check. I
Okay,
guess.
yeah,
See
go
if
ahead
it
and roll me.
matches.
Go ahead. I don't want to do that. I'm not that magically inclined.
Nice.
To see if it matches the type of necromancy that we've already encountered.
You don't notice anything necromantic, but you do find in the alley behind the hostel an aura of actually, what magic type is it? I don't know what it is,
Illusion.
but no, not illusion, but an aura of cleaning. Something that would clean, like similar to the magic that's fastidiousness. In the same manner of the magical imbuement of Orzov's amulet of fastidiousness.
Oh, it'd probably
That's
be
cleaning now.
transmutation.
I'll rename that.
Yeah, I think transmutation is the one.
Well,
And magic is not especially common, is it?
It's much more uncommon and rare since several generations, if not centuries.
Yeah, so this sticks out like a sore thumb.
Yep.
Well, can we go and investigate the source of said magic?
You don't find the source, you just find it sort of localized just beyond the fence. You get the idea that this man, when he jumped the fence, then cleaned himself before moving on.
can we tell if it was from a potion, or did he actually cast a spell on himself, or is it not?
You can't tell.
not
You can't
worked
tell
out?
exactly that source.
Okay.
There's just magic in the area.
Magic in the air.
There are people that walk around these areas. Like there is people. Like the alley's not incredibly long. It's possible there might have been witnesses. You see a couple of people that are sitting out the back of their buildings on balconies up above, smoking pipeweed and generally just yarning across the top of the alley at each other. It's possible any of them might have seen someone if they came through here. This is a gimme for you. There is zero limit to the real investigation you can do. You can go door knocking in areas where you've got leads. There is plenty to find, even if it seems like this is a dead end.
Let's shake down the whole region.
You can do
Plus
that.
sound of doors.
There is
Shake down.
an expectation that you guys will be investigating for quite some time, and you can devote entire days to casing entire districts if you like, and manpower and resources if you need to.
Yeah, there's going to be a point where we're going to go back to headquarters and see if we can find anyone who matches the description of our thief.
Yeah, look through sketches, I guess. Do they have photography? Basic photography? Is that something we'd use? Or
No. There is
not
scrying,
even like magic photography.
not picture taking.
Okay.
But I mean, you'd have like artists for drawing to get likenesses out there that you can utilize. There is basic print, like newspaper print and stuff, but no photography. Everything's sort of hand drawn or sketched or artist
like
impressions.
woodblock stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, I'd totally forgotten about it until you mentioned it. But yeah, there are scrying rituals.
Yep.
Like if we have personal effects, or say, I don't know, some bloods.
And you
We
have
could,
access to casters throughout the RHC that will perform rituals for you.
Okay.
Exactly.
Well, I'll take a sample of the non-necromantic blood because it seems like it might be from a different source.
Okay.
I'd like to question the witnesses or the people in the area to see if they are witnesses.
Okay.
Shall we
So you
split
start.
up and knock on a few doors
Yep.
to cover the people faster?
Yeah.
Might get a better reception than 6 officers showing up to one door.
Okay. From you, Orzov, give me a either a diplomacy or a streetwise, and from Jack Slate, the opposite of whichever one he doesn't do. So I have those
Can
from
I
you.
take diplomacy?
Yeah, sure. I mean, both the same for me.
Yeah.
And anyone
Shit.
else? Who else is door knocking?
I'll do it.
I guess Dimitri will. Although, are we going to all have to do different skills?
Yes.
Unless
Unless you have a hugely different thing you're going to be doing. You can use diplomacy if you're going to be just doing something other than door knocking, for example. But I don't want 5 people diplomacy door knocking and 5 people streetwise door knocking, if that makes sense.
I got you.
could I do would insight work?
For doing what? Door knocking?
Yeah, for door knocking.
Yeah, give me an insight.
Could you roll religion instead? Talk about eschatol and
That could totally work.
What are the
Use my arcana
door-knocking
to-
Mormons?
use my arcana check to like read their minds.
Ryla, what are you doing?
Can I make like a perception check and see if I notice anyone who looks particularly nervous, maybe, or that's kind of watching us, sort of? I'll try to make it obvious, but kind of keeping an eye out on
Roll,
us.
roll me perception.
Maybe even a piece of evidence.
I'll let you point out which houses have a good line of sight from their balconies or from their windows to this alleyway and this fence in particular, which will help the others door knock on those that would more likely have help.
Okay.
So you sort of look out and point out which one. Trabro just sits around doing sweet fuck all with you.
Was it my 9? Yep.
While the rest of you head off door knocking, I'll say you go in pairs. And after a few hours, you find a number of people that recall seeing a man who fits this description with the strange facial hair they point out. That he came through this area and then started to head towards Bosom Strand, then went deeper into the industrial district. The last anyone you talked to saw him. You start talking to people around on the streets and whatnot. Was heading to a very bad part of town, which is known to be the turf of the local crime lord Lorcan Kell.
Oh boy.
Might have to rough up some rascallions.
Who did the streetwise? Orzov. Orzov, you actually happen to find someone who you're pretty sure is an organized crime thug. You managed to spot one of these people, and with a talk and a promise of some recompense, you get the idea that someone known as the Doctor has a contract with Lorcan
Who?
Kell.
Oh, Valentino Rossi.
Do we know anything about Lorcan Cal? Like what sort of dealings he has? Whether he deals drugs, weapons?
Can I maybe like roll a history check on that? Would that be applicable, or
I think
would
it's
that be streetwise?
Yeah. I have a decent streetwise skill, and it seems relevant to figure out who this guy is, what he does.
So you said this stuff's sort of based in Bosom Strad, is it? Or Bosom, yeah.
Bosom Strand, yep.
I might mention, Dimitri might mention that he does have a friend that he might, that might, in that area, that might be worth talking to.
And in fact, anyone who has a contact in any organized crime in that area, let me know, because you will have heard of Lorcan Kell. In fact,
Yes.
oh yes,
My friend Marco, the fixer.
Yep. And my contacts, my connection to them was that I did a job investigating a local crime syndicate.
all
So
right.
I probably had run-ins.
Well, I think
which
that's
area
enough
is
that
this?
I'll share it with everyone, because that's more than half of you. Lorcan Kell is a well-known name through the crime underground. Now in his 50s, Kell grew up as an enforcer for local gangs, then eventually murdered his way into a position of leadership. He does, however, possess a great knack for instilling loyalty in his minions who run operations for him, and now he feigns gentility, dressing in elegant clothing that conceals no fewer than 8 blades at any time. He is well known for his methodical and gruesome manner of killing people by his own hand. He is unpredictable and hot-headed, and confident he can kill anyone who's a threat. This stretches even to police officers. And when people try to stand up against him, he takes it as an opportunity for entertainment. For him, nothing's better than taking self-righteous do-gooders down a few pegs by showing off his prowess with a blade.
Yikes.
His seat of power is known to be a theatre in Paradis Lake, where scum are welcome and decent people are turned away. Kel's Guild of Thieves is well known, and they practice their lies and legerdemain in the form of stage plays, often improvisational and with life or death stakes. Actors practice disguises and assuming unique personas, all the sorts of subtle techniques Kel personally never bothered with. He enjoys the shows, but his favorite game is to drag in a pair of random townspeople and within these shows give them the choice of who of the two will live. Kel is aware of the police interest in him and his guild, but expects that his intelligent minions will keep him protected, and it hasn't failed him yet.
Not until we go in there and fuck everything all up, probably.
So
This
he
guy
is
sounds like
right.
a
Okay.
real nice guy.
Yeah, Rylar's going to take the opportunity. Let's take him down, guys. Yeah.
Actually, I don't really want to because I have a contact in the Thieves Guild who's an informant. So nope, that'd be bad.
I think of all the promotions.
Yeah, I was gonna say. You've got a promotion riding on this one.
Hey, if I didn't get promoted for victoriously leading us to victory in that island fight, then you know what?
Leading
I'm never
us?
getting promoted. Yep.
Victory?
Leading us.
I seem to remember that we arrest the Duchess, and you want to throw her away.
Actually, I seem to remember some turncoat letting a wanted felon take a very important diplomatic person.
I mean,
So-
deflection is the oldest form of defense.
I'm just saying,
I thought you were gonna say
on
diplomacy.
a scale of on a scale here, pretty sure.
On the scale, catching Duchess was their primary mission.
Nah, son.
As you guys
Well,
move from the
Start
back of
bickering.
the hostel, as you guys move from the back of the hostel with a plan in mind of where to head, which I'm sure you do, you notice one of the servants of the hostel emptying out a can, let's say, a steel can, into a drain, which smellily flows down through the alleyway, collecting near where you are. As they see you, they sort of look around to make sure no one's there, and call over tentatively.
I'll go over there, I guess.
Yeah, let's go.
They say, you after a tidbit of information?
Always.
Well, I've got a tidbit for sale, yeah?
What?
Got a tidbit of information for sale, yeah?
How about you
Yeah.
just give it to us?
Slip him a gold coin, Ryla.
You
don't
you
you
tell
do
them
it?
just to tell
I have
us.
0 gold pieces.
They say, oh, sorry, I thought you was someone worth talking to. And they turn around and
I'll
start walking
grab
back
his
towards the
shoulder.
door. Oh, hands off. Don't have to call out for help.
And I'll slip him 5 gold.
Oh, you can keep your hands on me for long, if 5 gold if you like.
The information better be important.
I heard you talking to Barb out front, asking about the doctor with the foreign accent.
Yes.
I remember him coming in, claiming he was coming back from a surgery, covered in blood, asking for water and a towel. Barb turned him down, of course. Don't want none of that shit in the house. But he's come out back. He's cleaned himself off here. And made his way down out the alley. He stays
We
here,
already
you know.
gathered that.
Yeah. Guess we know who we're gonna go have a chat to.
The servant said, can tell you which room he stays in. Barb won't let you know. She'll be cleaning it up in moments if he doesn't come back.
What room is that?
Yeah, it tells you room 14C.
Is there like a back door?
There is. It's the one the servant came in. He says, but now you is not the first police to come here.
We're
But,
not.
Nah. One of the other officers came in with a badge a little bit different to yours. Got let into the room, poked about. I saw him give Barb a whole bunch of money. Tell anyone else who asked to turn away.
Did you catch their name?
I didn't see it on the badge, but I heard him say Roger Porter. Officer Roger Porter.
Can we ask him? Can I ask him if he looked like the race of the people of the consulate? The Denorans? There we go.
You ask him if he looks Denoran?
Yep.
I don't know. I ain't met many Denorans. He had a pencil-thin moustache. That's all I remember about him.
Did it sound like the dude that was waiting for us when we arrived at the consulate?
Libri?
No, the one that received us, that worked for us.
Yeah, Julian Libri. Oh, right. No. The RHC. No, doesn't fit his description.
Okay.
So,
we heard about a police station that had jurisdiction in this area, right?
Parody Lane, I think it was. Parody Lane Police Station.
Yeah. We would know the description of their badge? Could we describe it to him and see if it matches?
The badge should be the same as yours.
Uh,
And this guy, you show him your badge. Nah, it's not it. It was more like a. Oh, it looked kind of like a cheap version of that.
Interesting. Well, we have a room to go poke around in.
Don't let Barb catch it. But another couple of pieces my way, and I'll make sure she stays busy for a few minutes.
I'll slip him 5 more gold.
Oh my goodness. This is more than he makes in several months.
Yeah, I think.
And
Yeah.
you quickly find out what the commotion is as he runs inside and tips what remains of the can he was emptying over the back of Barb, and you start to hear shouting and screaming. You get the gist that with this newfound wealth, this guy has handed in his resignation, and you take the opportunity to head into the room, the room number that you were given, and what you find is a fairly turned over room. The mattress and bed pulled away and torn apart. The furniture, all of the cupboards and drawers lie open and strewn about. You find nothing in there remaining, sort of everything that you'd expect to, or rather, everything that's here is just stuff you'd expect to see in a typical room, like a broken chair, empty drawers, a few sheets of linen, nothing else of much. It's just around a couple of candles, whatever, but no other objects
Nothing
here.
unique.
Yeah.
Any magic auras in here?
None. You don't need to roll. There's definitely not.
Okay.
Can we have a thorough turnover of the room as well?
I'll consider that you would have. This room
Right.
is completely stripped. There is nothing here.
Well,
That means no clothes as well, no bag, no personal items. just a completely stripped and turned over room.
So, we're just assuming that Roger Porter is probably a fake name.
He's
To
got
go
a
along
fake
with the fake-
badge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe he's also a fake person.
I think that would follow, yeah. Did we get a description of the guy?
Just the pencil thin mustache.
Okay.
Well, it seems that we've dead-ended this lead. We don't really have anything else to go on from here.
Well, I mean, you had the people you talked to that gave you areas where he was heading. You've got a lead to the Lorcan guild that this man seems to be working with or for, based on the
I
information.
think he was saying like this area is exhausted specifically.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, the room.
Sorry. It is getting late into the evening or the afternoon, coming up the evening. So by this point, you guys would be heading back to the RHC. Just like a meta word, it isn't to be figured out in one day. So don't don't worry. Following leads is not always going to go cold. There's no hot trail that's going to be missed out, as it were. Your leads may get more difficult over time or different over time, but they won't disappear because that makes for a boring game.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's not like real
slowly
life.
building a profile.
Yeah. So with that, the end of the first day of the investigation, you return to the RHC to fill in, or rather brief Stover Delft, Assistant Chief Inspector Stover Delft, your report for the day, and basically just keep him up to scratch. Along with him is the Lady Inspectress Margaret Saxby. She's the sort of the next level above Assistant Chief Inspector Stover Delft, and he informs you that she is to be informed with any developments in the Gale case. Does not elaborate why. Merely tells you this sort of thing isn't unheard of if it's potentially politically charged case, as something to do with the Denoran consulate would be expected to be. And as you arrive and fill him in, he's talking with her, and she sits for the first briefing, and she tells you you've done a fantastic job so far, and she has the utmost faith that you will do the RHC proud. And
Wouldn't dream of doing less.
I was waiting for that.
And with that, we're 5 minutes on the end, so we'll just tidy up there. We'll come back with the next day of investigation next week.
I really wish silence was an at will so I could just keep casting it on Rylar.
All right.
Cast
Well,
it.
I hope you guys have taken notes, because I've
Yeah,
got
we
a
got
book
some
here.
in the communal kind of thing there. I think it's pretty
Yeah.
good.
All right. Well, with that, thanks, Stream and person who's going to watch this in the
Thanks,
future.
Stream.
I'm sure there will be one of you. And we'll catch you guys next week.
See you, Shroom.
See you.
See ya.
Bye.